Hello and welcome back to Shutterdrives. This is Zahar Hussain and we are here in Dehradun in this riverbed to review one of the most anticipated cars ever in the Indian car market, the Maruti Suzuki Jimny 4x4. I know that you've been patiently waiting for this review, so मैं तुम्हारा ज़्यादा time waste नहीं करूँगा. Let's straight away get into the 20 points or the 20 things you should know before you decide to buy this car. First things first, talking about the variants, you get Alpha variant, which is the top end variant that you see here, and apart from this you get Zeta variant. And Maruti Suzuki claims that a lot of bookings are there for the Alpha variant, and that is why they're going to prioritize producing more of Alpha variants than the Zeta variants. If you have to buy one, I would really suggest that please pick the Alpha variant because this car looks drop dead gorgeous when it's completely kitted up. Out of every 10 bookings, I'm sure that the 9 bookings are here because people love the way this car looks. Jimny is always known for its looks, and this also continues that legacy. So talking about the comparison of this versus the 3-door Jimny, this is longer by 340 millimeters, and the entire 340 millimeter extra length has translated into wheelbase. It's going to be very comfortable inside comparatively. So overall, it's still a sub 4 meter car. And talking about the exterior highlights, you have the LED projector setup here, and for some reason I really feel that it is kind of inspired by Hummer. The front of the Jimny looks like मतलब ये थोड़ा inspiration लिया Hummer से. I'm not comparing this to Hummer in any freaking way, but I just feel कि छोटा mini Hummer लगता है सामने से. So talking point of the Jimny has to be the super duper cool headlamp washers. And I think जब आप off road जा रहे हो ना ऐसी जगह जहाँ पे इतना सारा dust है, they'll actually help you clean the headlamp without you actually having to get onto the car, and then rub the headlamps and all that. This is a 5 vertically slated grill that you see here. Looks super duper cool. This is थोड़ा सा मतलब dark grey and silverish finish. Thankfully it's not completely chrome. It would have looked very odd. I'm not a chrome lover at all. And then moving slightly downwards, you have the halogen fog lamps, and I'm a big fan of halogen fog lamps over LED fog lamps because I feel that they help you better in foggy conditions. And then you have the lovely mesh like ADAM here, which is going to help the car breathe because it has a lot of work to do. And then you have the bumper here, and the thing is, if I take a stone and scratch this bumper ना, यहाँ पे scratches नहीं आएंगे because ये bumper scratch free है. I don't want to do it because it's a media car, but you get the point there. Maruti being Maruti, they have focused so much on the smaller things of the Jimny की मतलब अगर आपको देख के यहाँ पे ऐसा लगता होगा कि मतलब अच्छा what is this big trapezoidal wheel well here? That is because आप easy से you can actually tie the snow chains here for the tires. That is why you have so much of space here. Again, an intelligent thought there. Not just that, if you look at the A pillar now, it's not actually very inclined. It's thoda sa straightish. That is because your visibility should not get hampered. That is the reason it is like this, and it is pretty thin as well. Another thing that I actually like is the rear window, which kind of looks so hot in this, and then there's a chota sa quarter glass at the rear. Overall, it's a very boxy proposition, and I think that's what the USP of this car is. ऐसा नहीं कि Maruti has taken some inspirations from Hyundai और ऐसा कर दिया कि यहाँ पे crease, यहाँ पे crease, यहाँ पे crease, all cuts and creases. This car is not about curves, cuts and creases. This is a proper boxy car. If you are someone like me who love these OG Pajeros, Nissan Patrols, Land Cruisers of olden days, you're going to love the Jimny because of the boxy design there. And then what is very cool is there's a request sensor here. I know मतलब मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि मतलब थोड़ा सा body color हो जाना चाहिए था because this black looks थोड़ा सा out of place, but nevertheless not nitpicking here. So one of the critically acclaimed things of Jimny from the auto experts के लोगों को ऐसा लगा कि मतलब गाड़ी की टायर थोड़ी सी पतली है, and I think वो आपको भी लग सकता है because it's a 195 section tire, 195, 80, I repeat 80 profile tires because of course the off-road tires, and then it's a 15-inch in dia. So I think मतलब थोड़ा सा room था at least to upsize it by 1 inch, so that tires would have looked proportional to the car, but nevertheless this is what it is. The alloys however look very stylish in the car. So I think I really like the rear of the Jimny because these tail lamps here seems to be inspired from Pajero, and I'm a big Pajero fan. Yeah, that said, you have a request sensor for the boot as well. How freaking cool is this? You do not get an alloy, but it's a full size spare wheel. No cost cutting there in terms of मतलब कि छोटा size देने का and all that thing. You get a red diamond star here. There is a washer here for the rear wiper. Again, everything looks cool. Talking about the color options, you get 7 color options. दो आते हैं dual tone में, kinetic yellow and red. You can choose with black roofs, but other colors that you see on the screen here are all normal vanilla single tone colors. Also, you have a roof antenna. No shark fin business here. Proper OG antenna, which is actually offset and it's not in the center, which actually makes it look very cool. But what is the talking point of the car is, I know that we have reverse camera, we have parking sensors, couple of parking sensors which are doing the job for the car. But what's the talking point here is this all grip badge. So other Maruti cars, they get all grip select and all grip auto, but here you get all grip pro, where you have a proper transfer case and things like that. And that is the talking point of the Jimny, because I think if you're buying Jimny, I really urge that you take the car in places which other cars can dream of, because that is the USP of this car. And if you don't do that, I think it's kind of diluting the whole purpose of buying a Jimny. There are probably better options from Maruti out there in the market if you're not taking a car off-road, but I would really urge you to take this car off-road, and you'll be blown by the way this car performs. It's very hot here right now in this place. मतलब सुबह से पानी पीते जा रहे. Talking about पानी, you can keep, I think, some 1.5 2 bottles like this, because the ground clearance is insane. 210 millimeters of ground clearance. Actually, थोड़ा सा slope है गाड़ी. It's not the right picture right now, but you get 210 millimeters of ground clearance, and we are driving this car over rocks, boulders, mountains, and whatnot. Not in a single time this car actually scraped its underbelly. There are some things you should not do in life. One among that thing is sitting in the boot of a car like this. You get 208 liters of boot space in this car. मतलब एक बंदा comfortably यहाँ पे sit हो जाएगा. No problem at all. But if you want to stuff in 2-3 more people, I don't know why would you want to do that, but in case you want to do that, then you can fold these 2 seats also. You will get 332 liters of boot space. Then you can do whatever you want. Maruti Suzuki has made an attempt to carry some design elements from the earlier Gypsy. Hence, you'll see some Fox exposed bolts on the dash. The squared instrument panel with individual blocks for speedometer and tachometer remind you of the Gypsy, and so does the grab handle that has been lifted off from it. The dashboard is scratch resistant, and that's the reason you will see the tough and rough finishes on it. The glove box is decent enough but not very spacious, and it doesn't light up too. The buttons are large and chunky, the primary reason being that people in cool climatic conditions should be able to use them with gloves. The dials are built to seriously stand in apocalypse. Logically, just like most other true-blooded off-roaders, you get power window switches on the center with an option to disable traction control and activate hill descent control. Although the hard plastics are justifiable owing to practicality and durability, the steering deserves to retire as it's been too long in the tooth now for Maruti Suzuki cars. That said, the large analog dials with tachometer and speedometer with orange backlight look absolutely smashing on this rugged car. Again, an inspiration from the earlier brother. The small MID displays basic info, and the fuel meter is accommodated in the same real estate. On the right side of the steering, you have the headlamp washers, which is a very neat touch. A start-stop button, auto start-stop switch, and a switch to adjust the ORVMs. You get manual handbrake, cup holders, etc., but the storage space is seriously limited in the Jimny, with no place to keep your phone dedicatedly, or even the absence of bottle holders on doors, which can be a serious deal breakers for some families considering the Jimny as a primary car. The 4x4 selector uplifts your mood, but we found it very minutely challenging in terms of operating it. The 9-inch infotainment system seems to be the architect of modernization in the Jimny. It has all the controls you would ask for in the form of media and entertainment. Bluetooth connectivity, driver information display including instantaneous mileage, a neat layout, fairly responsive touchscreen, and of course Android Auto and Apple CarPlay deserve a very special mention because they are actually wireless. You also get a couple of charging options in the form of 12-volt charging socket and USB charger. Sadly, the only chargers in the car and the Type-C is sorely missed today. So talking about the rear seat comfort, the under-thigh support is something that might be slightly lacking for some people. However, the headroom is just generous and decent enough. You won't have much complaints there. There's a magazine pocket here. Unfortunately, a couple of charging sockets are missing here, and there is no rear center armrest as well, which some people might kind of miss here. Overall, the seat comfort is pretty decent. You also get a cabin light here just in case you need it on your next adventure. So that said, I mean, there are some knickknacks which are missing, but I think it is manageable for short distance, and especially children are not going to complain, but adults might find that, you know, the space in at least in terms of the under-thigh support or the shoulder room with 3 people abreast is going to be pretty difficult here. So another cool feature here is this seat actually goes completely flat. The comfort of the seat is pretty decent, but I sorely miss an armrest here. Matlab, if I'm doing long drives, I really think that Maruti could have given an option of armrest here. That would have been super duper helpful. But that said, the seat comfort is pretty good. I've been driving this car since like more than 8 to 10 hours right now, and there's no issue nahi hai, but leather seats are probably missed. And the only issue that I have from the interiors in general is this is a 9-inch screen, and I feel that it is kind of obstructing the view that you have to the bonnet. Other than that, it would have been kind of good. And talking about AC performance of the car, the AC performance is decent. It's never that, you know, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ कि मारुति का जो AC performance है वो एकदम top notch types है, but it's never been bad either. So that way the AC performance is decent. The clarity of reverse camera is pretty decent. It's not very crisp or super crisp types, but it's pretty decent and it's manageable. So driving the 1.5 liter manual engine right now. This is a 5-speed manual gearbox. So first things first, This engine produces around 103 HP and 134 Newton meters of torque, and claimed mileage by Maruti Suzuki is around 16-17 kmpl. No matter what, India में yes it matters कि गाड़ी कितना आपको mileage देती है, and that is going to be a big selling point of this car. So talking about the driving dynamics, once you tap on the gas pedal, ऐसा नहीं कि this car is going to push you back on your seat or something, but trust me on this, for 80 to 90% of the buyers, you're going to be very well convinced with the performance that this car has to offer. And Jimny has been a very anticipated product, and Maruti has excelled in terms of having a value proposition for this car in terms of the driving dynamics. Of course, I feel that the car gets slightly vocal about say 2000 rpm. Right now we're around 2300 types, and बाहर की आवाज़ जो इंजन की आवाज़ है यहाँ तक सुनाई दे रही है. I think that is something that Maruti could have kind of taken care of, especially considering that it's a petrol engine and it's not a diesel engine, where we can kind of have that as a limiting factor and wave that off. Talking about the steering response, Maruti Suzuki cars have been very good in terms of driving dynamics, especially the steering response. So this is the electric power steering, as Maruti claims, because people want electric power steering these days. The Jimny, in fact, did not even get a power steering. Forget about EPS or HPS there. The steering feedback is good. Matlab, we are doing somewhere around 80ish right now, and as you tap on the gas pedal, the steering weighs up, which is a very good thing. But that said, I think we kind of might end up missing the 6th gear here. So this is the horn of the Jimny. Wind tone fans like me would kind of miss the wind tone horn, but I think we have seen this in most of the Maruti cars, so nothing much to write about there. So that said, talking about the gearbox, you get a 5-speed manual gearbox, and the other one is a 4-speed auto, which we couldn't drive today, but this is a 5-speed gearbox, and so the shifts are very smooth. I mean, most of the time the shifts of Maruti cars has been pretty good, and the legacy has been continued here as well. And then talking about the clutch travel, every time I drive a Maruti car, I realize that why they're number one in terms of the urban car commuting population. That's because they understand the market very well, and that's why you see that the clutch is actually very light, it's short. Matlab, that is a very good thing, because it's going to help you, especially in off-roading where you have to use the clutch a lot. It's going to be very helpful for you. And talking about the braking, matlab, you just get 2 disc brakes in the front of the car. It could have been slightly better. I think it's bad or something, but I think with great power comes great responsibility, and anything with 100 plus bhp is decent enough for our roads. So 2 disc brakes are probably missed.
The safety kit includes 6 airbags, ABS, EBD, hill hold control, hill descent control, brake assist, and a couple of other kitties. Talking of ride and handling, the engine is rev friendly and almost begs for a 6th gear though, which isn't there, especially considering the fact that Jimny will come across good number of highway roads in its lifetime. Ride quality from the solid axle suspension from both front and rear is actually really good, and even on the rough bumpy bits, and that is going to be a huge plus point for this car. Given its stance and pedigree of Gypsy, I had absolutely no such optimistic hope that the ride would be so comfortable, and this is going to be a catalyst to convince yourself to opt for this as a daily driver and not just a niche second car gazing at a garage walls. It will eat potholes for breakfast, gulp speed breakers like water, and can climb some boulders with absolute pride. Not that ladder-on frame chassis are known for superior handling, but Jimny, which of course is built on ladder-on frame architecture, did not scream nervousness when we pushed it hard down the mountains. The only fly in the ointment seems to be the rear drum brakes, which kind of limit the confidence when you push this light 1.2 ton vehicle north of the 100 km/h mark. That said, winning racing championship is not the forte for Jimny, taking you places where no other car can dream of ease. The USP of Jimny has to be the off-road capabilities this car has to offer. The Jimny 4x4 gets the All Grip Pro Tech, which is the most advanced form of 4x4 tech from the homegrown car maker. You can switch manually between 2-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive high, and 4-wheel drive low. What you don't get is a set of mechanically locking differentials. Suzuki instead uses an electronic traction control system that automatically brakes slipping wheels, allowing torque to be redistributed to other wheels. As you switch lanes from the paved to unpaved tarmac, shift the transfer lever from 2H to 4H on the fly up to speeds of 100 km/h. With maximum torque and traction on your side, the harshest terrain turns into a piece of cake as you engage the 4-low mode, low range transfer gear. What we absolutely loved is the way the nimble car displays its agility of crossing knee-deep water effortlessly without losing any kind of traction whatsoever using the 4-low mode. Maruti Suzuki had curated a set of specific tracks which proved very useful to check the capabilities of this mountain goat. What stole the thunder is the one particular obstacle of extremely inclined vertical slope, which felt like an everyday thing for this mountain goat. And of course, the rocky bed felt like a bed of roses, where the wheels frantically articulated, but she showed no signs of remorse in spite of the underbelly kissing the stones twice. The Jimny's brake limited slip differential feature comes to the rescue when the going gets tough. On slippery tracks, if two diagonal wheels lose their grip, this feature automatically pumps the brakes on the slipping wheels and redistributes the torque to other two wheels so that you drive on effortlessly. Last but not the least is the icing on the cake, which seems to be the ADR angles. That's the approach angle of 36 degrees, departure angle of 50 degrees, and the ramp breakover angle of 34 degrees, coupled with a ground clearance of 210 millimeters. Honestly, I don't think you should have blind trust on these ambitious numbers on paper, but seriously get there and experience how capable this car is off the tarmac.
Oh my god, what a freaking amazing day. This is one of the days which I'm never ever going to forget in my life, thanks to the Maruti Suzuki Jimny 4x4. So I'm going to sum up this car. If at all I buy the Jimny, it would be because of, say, a couple of reasons. Firstly, it looks drop dead gorgeous. मतलब ये छोटा हमर का जो look है, I'm completely blown with it. It's so distinctive and nice. Second is the off-road capability. It's like a छोटा package बड़ा धमाका type. It's very good in off-roading. At least what we have seen here, मतलब there are so many big stones. We thought there's no way this car is going to make it. ऐसा जा रही है, ऐसा उड़ रही है हवा में. Everything is possible in this car. And of course, the third thing is, I think the agility that this car has is going to be very helpful in our city driving conditions as well. मतलब silk board, Bangalore traffic, किधर भी घुसाओ गाड़ी को, you're not going to be cribbing about it. However, just like every other off-roader there, this is going to come with a couple of limitations. Firstly, in terms of the space and comfort in the second row, I think it's not the most optimum of all the cars that you have seen in the market in this price bracket. Price bracket ka pata nahi, we'll get to know when the car launches in early June. And of course, I think we could have expected a slightly better automatic gearbox. So if these are the couple of things that you can kind of live with, but if you want one car which can take you on a weekend to road trip, dune bashing, matlab water splash, whatnot, and which can take you on an office trip, say from Monday to Friday, I think you'll have to head to the nearest Nexa showroom because the Jimny is available exclusively there. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for being part of this very important review. We are doing a lot of things on Instagram right now. मतलब काफ़ी सारे reels आ रहे हैं, बहुत सारे action material आ रहा है. So do not forget to check out our Instagram page. It's Shutterdrives on Instagram. And of course, do hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. So signing off from this beautiful heaven. See you.